I thought you might like to pop down to my greenhouse and have a look at my cornflowers so you can compare. It is very cold and it's going to get very, very cold tonight, as if we haven't already had enough. Go, there's the low, it's minus 4.6, and if I press the Fahrenheit button, there we go, 23.7 is the lowest it's got in my greenhouse so far. And then if we set the reset button, it is currently only 5.3 degrees in my greenhouse. So here are my cornflowers, and I've taken one out of the tray. Now the compost is not quite frozen solid, but it's on its way. The compost doesn't tend to freeze on the first cold night, but this series of cold nights and the days not really recovering that well means that over time your compost will slowly freeze. So if you try and water your cornflowers, the chances are they won't get the water. So if they're in desperate need, that's why you take them inside and then bring them outside as soon as they've recovered, back into the greenhouse. But there's not much point in watering too much at the moment. Just check your compost. If it's not frozen solid, it will be tonight. And the temperatures during the day are just not getting warm enough for plants to recover. I'll show you these ranunculus. The soil is frozen. Look at that, and they're fine, absolutely fine. And because they're in the greenhouse and they had the protection, the frost is not able to touch the leaves, so it's not getting burnt. Magic. I thought actually, I'll pour this one out for you. I had to give it a good old squeeze from beneath because it is actually frozen solid like a brick. Look at that. Yet still they're fine, absolutely fine. Back, it's making my fingers cold. Oops, that way around. There we go, you can see how solid that was. And also the anemones, look, that is frozen solid, that compost, yet they're absolutely fine. These actually don't have any fleece over them, but there is fleece just above. As I say, it's very cold where I am at the moment. It's meant to be minus 5 point something, minus 6 tonight. So if I'm all right, you'll be all right. I've not fleeced everything in my greenhouse, just the really tender plants. Everything that's a bit more hardy, I've not bothered. Ranunculus, sweet peas, Nigella if you want to, although I've not bothered. Snapdragons, anemones, that kind of thing. So no need to fleece things like the sweet rocket that actively needs this cold weather to make it bloom beautifully next year. So that's really good. And this is the larkspur, just loving life. No need to fleece these plants. They are used to much colder where they originally come from. Well, I have had a lovely little potter in the greenhouse. It's warmed up a little bit in here as well. So what I've done is I had a spare piece of fleece. So I've now fleeced all the way to the end. So we've just got under the fleece the ranunculus, the sweet peas, the snapdragons and the anemones. And it looks grim tomorrow. So tonight it's going to be the coldest I think it's been so far. And then tomorrow there's no sun at all. So I thought I'll put the fleece out now, get the sun that we've got today to charge up the warmth in the greenhouse, trap it as best I can. And then tomorrow I can hide indoors.